basically, I started with the description of the situation, the actual situation I have a problem with, and I really didn't see much of the answers at the beginning because there was very strong contradiction to my mind, because the answers that required to solve the problem required some resources which I apparently don't have. So the main idea for me to start thinking about this problem was actually defining the actual problem, and defining not just what I want to do, but what is required for me, in terms of solving this problem. So what very important is to have a description of what do you actually would like to achieve, because before you formulate your problem. So you make a description of the situation very precisely, trying to break every part of the situation very in details, so you would understand, do you really want to do that, or you want to do something else, or what is the most important thing for you to solve. And this, from the start, making the contradiction didn't really help me to find the core of the problem. And then I went further and started, through the system operator. It helped me to see the functions of what I provide, what I do in the situation in more specific ways, in more wide scale. So it's not just because if I want to do that. Why do I want to do that? Because I want to achieve certain things. Why do I want to achieve certain things? Because that's a part of another thing. So you basically make a chain, and you see, you see what is the actual purpose of what you're doing. So that's helped me to understand more from the smaller scale to the larger scale. And also, I think for me to see the upper system was more important than to see the subsystem. However, it's also important, But I can tell that from the beginning, I didn't really catch the, all the aspects of the system operator. I understood it later. So the whole thing, what happened to me is that in order to see the problem more clearer and to identify things that, really formulate the problem and help me to find a solution, was only after I, went through all the stages and returned every time trying to revise certain parts of the processes. So the ideal final result, actually one of the first things that kind of cleared the sky for me, and I really wanted to see, what would be the ideal result of what you want, and then by taking away the specific terms and by trying to articulate more of certain things that we see one way, but it actually means a little bit different. When you take the term that is always on your mind, but when you try to make a description of what it is, what it actually means for you in certain situation, it's different. So it helped me to revise the final results and help me to go through the X element thing and try to see what actually do I have and what do I need and what resources cannot be changed, what things cannot be changed and what things can be changed. And anyway, by the end of the processes, I see certain things that could be part of the physical solution. I'm not sure about the engineering solution, but physical solution in terms of trying to answer as many questions as possible by trying to answer all the questions that coming in by not having enough time for that and resources. I think one of the things would be, one of the solutions could be is actually to do something on the pre-stage. So it would be before you actually receive your question, you do certain work and send out information for the customers that prevent sending the questions to me. That way I can limit the number of questions coming in, just by sending out certain things that would. So one thing is, first of all, to classify the type of the questions, and then try to answer those questions before they actually answer. So that way I can the problem with many questions coming in could be solved, and that will help me to answer. We have all the replies that the customers will get the reply they want, or they get the information they want, which is more important, not just the reply itself, but they want information. So by providing information first, that will help them not to send the question. So, and then another thing is to make certain things automated, and as I said, to classify questions and break them into different groups, and make a computer, because in terms of my problem, I realized that there's a human limits that don't give me the ability to provide, initial situation by answering, many questions. But the computer can have that because it doesn't have the limits. But it also could be used in terms of automation some of the processes and not using the human force for that.